This is Justin Case of America Newscape, joining our friend and moral compass, Kim Kerley, bringing you some good old Americana stuff. Hello, Kim. Welcome back to America Newscape.
Hello. I saw Kim Kerley Team Umbrella drink, so I'm just going to have a swig of my margarita water before we
Hey,
start.
hey, hey. Despite
Mm.
popular opinion, we are big Team Umbrella fans.
It's always better when you put an umbrella in it. It's a
Ab-
lifestyle.
Absolutely. Kim, what's been happening in Texas that we may have missed?
Oh, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot's been going on in Texas. Oh, we're just, living our lives inside with no water and no electricity, hence the hat. It's 75 degrees today, but you know what? Before this happened, we've gone through 6 days. Well, let me just back up. The groundhog said there was going to be 6 weeks of winter, and Texas said, "Hold my beer. I'm going to do this in 6 days." I think that's very funny. It was the
Oh, my beer.
coldest I have ever experienced in my life in Texas, and in South Texas. It snowed twice. We get excited when a little bit of snow happens. It snowed twice. I woke up, I think, was it Monday morning or Tuesday morning? I don't know. We were inside all the time, but there was all this snow, and it was beautiful. And I wish people could have enjoyed it, but the snow was inside their house too because people lost power. It was horrific. People lost power, and they couldn't complain about it on Facebook until like recently. So I'm reading all about it and everything. It's in watching the news. But the night before, wait, no, Saturday night, that was like the Valentine's Eve, right? So all this happened for Valentine's Day. And I had a show in Victoria, Texas. So I was in Victoria, Texas, and this winter storm was coming in, and we were going to spend the night, but we decided to drive back. Well, I didn't drive. I have a four-wheel drive, but it's a 2 hour drive. We did it in 4.5 hours, and it was slick, and it was, like this holding your steering wheel like this doesn't change the tire slightly. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
And telling everybody to shut up, that doesn't help either. It's go slow, and you need to concentrate. But this was like, it was like, and I had to pry his hands off, and it was, we're home, honey. We made it home. It's so bad. But everybody showed up to the gig, right? And I'm looking out the audience, and it was at a big civic center, and everybody was in, their hats and coats, and hats like this, and I mean, people had all the regalia on for winter wear, which, in Texas, we buy it, but it's kind of like preparing for a game, but the game never comes. So we're all ready. We're ready for the big game. And people make fun of us, like, "Why are you buying mittens?" I'm like, "I don't know why I'm buying mittens. Maybe someday, I don't know, it'll be 6 degrees outside, right?" Yeah.
Yeah.
It happened. It happened. I used my mittens. That's I did. I used my mittens, and I used my scarf, and I had I have ski pants. Don't ask me why I have ski pants. There's no skiing around here. But I put ski pants on to go take my dog outside because it was incredibly cold. It was very cold. I feel bad for the people who didn't have heat though. That was horrific. I know you've heard a lot about that, right? And you've seen some of the pictures of that.
Well, we did. That one famous clip that's out there, and everybody should search for it. It was Billy Bob Smith. No, it was Billy Bubba Bob Smith, and they got the network news was there, and they said, "Well, Billy Bob, what you going to do when it quits snowing?" He said, "Well, I'm going to dig my beer out of that snowbank over there."
There are
Eh,
a lot of pictures of people with their beer outside. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing. It wasn't just Billy Bob. It was Mary Bob and Sue Bob, and it was
it
it
was the
was Harry
Bobs.
Bob.
It was the
It was
Bobs.
all of the Bobs. And Bob is the same backwards and forwards. So yeah, that was the thing. And my daughters both lost. Well, they both lost electricity. One was for 3 days. The other one lost electricity and water. They both have gas, so that was something. So people had gas, not gas like flatulence. I just want to make that clear. But gas, like, they could heat their stove up a little bit, which could be dangerous. So you have to just do that for a little bit, turn it off. But it was crazy. The water thing, people. Okay, I read today, like someone said, "I didn't take a shower for 3 days." It's like, oh my God. I hope you had baby wipes or something that you could use to help.
Right.
Americans don't like smelling. I mean, that's just not something we enjoy. Matthew McConaughey, he lives in Austin, and he's known for, and look it up, he's known for like not using deodorant. Like he likes his own smell. Like he really digs it. He doesn't, he's like, this is natural. All right, all right, all right. This feels good. Right. And I know somebody who was in one of those sports boxes. I don't know if it was a football game or a basketball game, but they were in one of those sports boxes and they said, man, I got to leave, Matthew. You smell so bad. He told him he smelled that bad.
Well,
But most people don't want to smell like Matthew McConaughey. We don't want to do that. I'm sure Matthew's a great guy. Great guy. Doesn't
maybe,
smell good. Yeah.
maybe.
And
You just devastated the resale value of his Lincoln, I'm sure.
I think about that when I see the Lincoln commercials. I do think about that, like, hey, daddy's in the car, mom. We don't want to get in the car. The kids are like, come on, we're going to go to the grocery store. Is that daddy's car? We don't want to use that one.
He may be the only one driving around in a Lincoln with one of those nasty Christmas trees hanging from the rearview mirror.
Oh, I don't think that would help. But people didn't have water to take showers. They didn't have electricity. I just can't imagine. I was spared. I know you're probably wondering, Kim Kerley,
Yeah,
how did you do?
yeah. We were worried about the Curleys.
No, I was, for some, I can't say, well, thank God, because why did God let the people down the street lose their electricity, and not me? So I think that it was just an act of grid, not thank God.
Active
Thank
grid.
you, grid. It was an active grid. People were saying there was rolling blackouts. They say, they get on the news. Those of us who could see the news, there's going to be rolling blackouts. That was such malarkey. There were no rolling blackouts. What happened is the grid failed and then they tried to fix it.
Right. It rolled in and it did not roll out.
So every now and then they go like this. Oh, some of it's up. And it's like, nope, it's down again. Let's just call that a rolling blackout. Because people would have electricity for a minute or two and they would be gone. And that's how I pictured it. It's like, that was not a rolling blackout, a controlled rolling blackout. Wouldn't it be like, hey, America, this street is going to be without power at 7:00 for 20 minutes. And then we're going to turn it back on and it's going to be okay. No, that's not how it was. It was like,
Well, my advice.
who knew?
My advice to Texans everywhere: we live in an area where the utilities, particularly electricity, is very suspect, and everybody here likes to complain about it. Complain about that power company, complain about that utility, and I always do one thing: I point to the lights, and if they're on, I say, "Celebrate! The lights are on." I don't know how it's happening, but we have lights.
No, I agree. Thomas Edison said he wanted to make electricity so cheap that only the rich could afford candles. Kim Kerley said, I wished I had more candles. But a friend of mine up in Dallas, he's been all over the news. Look it up. Scott Willoughby. His electric bill was $18,000 for a week.
Oh my gosh!
And then $16,000 for next week or something like that. So he's going to be on CNN tomorrow or whatever. So it's called Gritty. That was his electric company. And so they're gouging these people. I mean, who can afford that? Who can afford that? If you're not Bill Gates, who can afford that? If you're not the top 1%, who can afford 18,000? Oh, and by the way, they already took it out of his credit card. And they've done this to a lot of people. So
Wow.
that's not funny.
No.
I'm so sorry. I've just turned into Debbie Downer. Wah, wah, wah.
Well, it's perspective.
Wah, wah, wah. Here in San Antonio, they're saying, here's what's going to happen. We're not going to price gouge you all at once. We're going to do it over the span of 10 years. It's going to be a bad relationship. It's like for 10 years. It's like entering to an ungodly situation for the next 10 years. Like I want to break up, but I can't because I still have a bill to pay.
Well, yeah. You still need electricity.
Yeah, we do need that because it's kind of important, isn't it? There was a picture in, I think it was El Paso. Was it El Paso or not Del Rio? It was El Paso. So all of El Paso was black, and then you go to Mexico was all lit up. So, I mean, it's us.
Well, Mexico has something beautiful that they burn, which is oil and coal to keep their power plants going.
And then in Texas, what do we have? What else do we have make the news? Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz goes to Mexico. It was so bad. That was so bad. If you're a politician and you want to keep your job, you have to kind of stick around for the tough parts, right? So who does stick around? Beto. Like here we got a Hispanic man whose real name is Rafael, changed his name to Ted. Ted goes to Mexico. Well, Beto, who's a white guy, he wants his job. So Beto's like, I'm here, I'm taking care of business, I'm making phone calls, and I'm doing Zooms. And where's Ted?
Hey, to be
So
fair, when Ted grew up and when Ted went to school, and when Ted had a teacher, they stood up there and they did this presentation that when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And Ted didn't understand the concept.
well, I blamed it on his daughters. And I thought he said, well, my daughters wanted to go to Cancun, right? So I'm like, how old are his daughters? They're 10 and 12. What his daughters want to go to Cancun? I tell you what I don't like. I'm gonna be Debbie Downer again. Womp womp womp. The paparazzi's down there taking pictures of his daughters and stuff. It's like, Ted's a jerk. Just take pictures of him. Don't worry about his kids. Let them enjoy Cancun. They can do their schoolwork from there.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
I tell you what, I had Monday off like that. So I'm a school counselor by day, and I'm super comic at night. So we got the day off, right? Because it's like, it's President's Day. There's some situations happening with the electricity. We worked like half a day. It's like, don't worry about it. Everything's good. So then the next day, it was we were given the day off, and I'm thinking, if we didn't have this whole is it an infrastructure of computer systems, we wouldn't have to work, right? But it's like, you can work from home. You've got a computer, and we gave it to you, which is cool. But thank God there were rolling blackouts, so we didn't have to work.
Well, of course
Mm-mm, mm-mm-mm.
you were channeling your students. You were reaching out to them with good intentions.
Teachers and counselors are and vice principals are, we're all the same. We're all the same. It's like we're like, when's summer coming? When's
Yeah.
summer coming?
When is my
And
summer?
to tell you the truth, because we love it. I mean, people in education are there because they've been called to it. We love it. First day of school, it's like, what am I going to wear? I'm excited. I have a hard time sleeping. It's like the kids are coming back tomorrow. It's so exciting. Isn't that crazy? I like school. I have a grandson who does not like school. I don't understand it. School was a safe place for me. I loved school growing up. Plus, I believe that everything you are in life, you figure that out in third grade. Like they say kindergarten, but it's not kindergarten, it's third grade, because that's when your brain becomes aware. You become aware and you start making your social differentiations, whether you've been taught them or not. You go, wait a minute, that person looks different than me. That one's taller than me. That one reads better than me.
That
Actually, I was a very
I think
yeah,
that may be true for
oh, it's
girls.
absolutely true. It's
Kim, that may
no,
be true.
no,
No, no, no, no, no. It may be true for
no, boys
girls.
are the same thing. I see little boys. When by the time they're in third grade, you're looking around. Who runs the fastest out of the boys? Who's the one who understands the math? I mean, you guys. It's not just boys and girl brains. That it's every human being brains. That part of awareness kicks in, whether you've been taught it or not. You put yourself in a social structure. You kind of are layering. Where are you? So wherever you thought you were in third grade, that's where you are in the boardroom. I'm telling you.
Okay. Well, it's like pecking order. I always talk about pecking order, and it does exist. People don't like to hear about it, but there is
It starts
indeed.
in third grade.
Okay, very good.
It
Um,
does. I'm
I,
pecking order in third grade.
I'm going to
Yeah.
share this. My mom, because I was such you may find this hard to believe, but I was such a strange child. And in dropping me off to second
Please,
grade,
please talk to Justin. Please.
and
Use call the counselors. Please, could you just pull him in and find out what the hell he's
well,
thinking?
we didn't drop him that many times, but maybe too many times. She said to this very nice, probably, I'm guessing she was about 65-year-old second grade teacher, my first teacher
Aw,
in Arizona. I went later, coached both of her grandkids in baseball.
cool.
But my mom said to her, "How do you do it? How do you looks like you love it. How could you love this?" She says, "Well, It gives me such pleasure to see them come off the bus or come into the classroom and they're all dressed up and they're all clean, and by the end of the day they're all unruly and disheveled, and then I send them home to you. But she
60
found what she loved about it. That got her through the day. That just made it all worthwhile to her.
And you're not only as an educator called into being an educator. I say it's like the ministry. You're called into what age group you should work with. Like personally, I could never work elementary. I mean, I did because I oversaw a whole district, and I would go in and I talk to the kids, but I could leave like immediately. I didn't have to spend a whole day with them. I mean, because elementary teachers talk like this. They're like, "Good morning, hi, good morning, good morning. What do you need, Justin? Oh, again? No, I don't think so. Just wait, okay." And I'm like, "What are you doing? What do you want? You know,
why are you bothering me?"
Yeah, what? When you have seniors, you can do that. Like, what do you want? Gosh. So actually, I did really, really well. I loved my students, and it was secondary, but nope, you're called into primary or secondary, because if you're not meant to be secondary, they'll have you crying.
Yeah.
Kids can be mean. I don't know if you know that.
Well, when I went to school, I
know a secret.
What's that?
I said, no, a secret. Kids can be mean.
Yeah, well.
I have a bigger secret. Parents are meaner.
Well, exactly. I had to answer to my parents.
Oh, no. The way it happens for the most part, kids tell stories. They go home and say, I didn't your dad, or dad. And they tell this elaborate story, and then the parent gets all worked up. And they come in like, I'm going to set that teacher straight. I'm going to set that person straight. I'm going to tell them. And they get in there and they find out what really happened. It's like, what? What? You did what? Well, you didn't tell me that part of the story. Mama wouldn't have come to school today.
Yeah.
No. I wanted to stay in bed.
I
was going to have to fight the good fight.
I hate to give this perspective to the younger audience, but it's a true story. And since I was up to my neck in it in third grade, the second time I was marked for talking in class. Imagine me running off the mouth or talking in class.
Oh, did you get like a check mark? Like, I'm going to go put it by your name?
No. Number 2 was the principal's office.
Oh.
And the principal said, I can either give you swats. And what that meant for the younger people is that's when they got out a wooden paddle and hit you in the butt. Drilled in it. No, he didn't have that. He was not a sophisticated. Or I can call your mother. And without blinking, I said, I'll take the swats. And he said to me, is everything okay at home?
Do I need to call CPS?
Well, they didn't have that back then. They had reform school, even for third graders. But I took the swats, and I think it killed him. And I knew him later as an adult when I was an adult, and he always remembered that.
It hurt him more. It hurt him more than it hurt you.
Which I never realized at the time. And he said, were you in a bad situation? I said, oh no. When I did what I typically did, I was punished for it. And that was the type of punishment I understood.
You get in trouble at school and you get in trouble at home. Now you get in trouble at school, you go home, school gets called and they get in trouble.
Yeah.
And then it's like you fail a class. Like when I was growing up, I failed a class. I never failed a class though. I don't know what that's like. But if a kid fails a class, they call the school and want to know what the teacher did wrong. What did you do wrong that you failed my child? And I'm going to tell you, sometimes there is a miss. Sometimes it's really trying to find out what it is that's going to click. To where a kid's going to learn it. I say some of them have a halogen lamp. The halogen lamp where you turn it and it gets bright slowly. Right. It's like they sit there and they go, oh, yeah. Some of them are slower halogen lamps, and some of them people, it's just faster. So we have to work with that. But there's sometimes, I don't mean to sound like, oh, she's just mean to kids. Sometimes kids don't do their work.
Right. No, exactly. And,
I'm just saying, sometimes they don't study when they're supposed to study. Moms and dads, guess what? They weren't studying last night in their room.
Well, it has important stuff. Important stuff.
They
Well,
were not studying.
my sister was an award-winning teacher, and I was a pretty acclaimed coach at my level. But what I would always say at coaching clinics is, if you're trying to teach little Billy and little Kim to hit a curveball, you better have 20 different techniques to do it, because the great coaches have 40.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's really good. I'm writing that down. That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
And like
I
a good
like that
teacher.
a
What?
lot.
Well, like a good teacher,
Differentiation.
it's well, okay. Well, coaching, you better have technique. hit the cur-
Differentiation in teaching.
Hit the curveball and don't watch me swing and miss at it, please. That's where that came from.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Kim. But back to you.
Okay, what's up, man?
Yeah. Kim
I was
Kerley,
good in
take two.
school. I was good in school. I didn't fail anything. I almost failed typing, but I got out of that class before I failed it. I can't type still.
Well, I don't type well either. I have two fingers and a thumb on one hand and two fingers on the other, but I type, needless to say. So,
And
okay.
I was a teller when I was going through college. I was a teller at a bank. I was one of like my 3 or 4 jobs that I had. I was a teller at a bank, and we used to have to, reconcile and do the 10 key. And some
Right.
people could go like this. And I'd be, and it's like, wow, I'm missing $100. Where'd my $100 go? I don't know and then the next night it'd be like, how did I get an extra $100? I don't know how I did that. I don't know how. It was magical how I would lose and gain $100 on a regular basis. And I didn't have enough time like to go home and invest it and it was like overnight, it's not like I was a horrific teller, horrific, I'd watch this one girl and she'd like do her 10 key. Oh, it's crazy.
And your middle name was Reconciling.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? Hey, Kim, you've been up to some other stuff. What's all this Team Umbrella stuff we're hearing about?
Well, darling,
Darling. Natasha.
it's a lifestyle brand, because when you see someone with an umbrella in their drink, what do you think, Justin? What do you think?
I think they're blessed. I think they're happier than they know they could possibly be.
Don't you feel it? Don't you feel like that person's happy? That person's in a good place. I want to be that person.
Well,
I want to be where that person is. I want those person's friends. Okay, it doesn't get that creepy. Actually, it's just like, it's just a moment where you go, that's just a fun thing. And so I have Team Umbrella Drink on Facebook. So join my team. We're still in pre-launch, basically. And we're going to be doing some fun stuff and getting our t-shirts and our hats taken care of. I need to get my logos out there. I mean, it's in the baby steps, but it's going to be a lifestyle brand. So I am looking for, excuse me, this is just margarita water. It's not margarita in it.
Yeah.
No margarita in it.
No more tequila in Texas.
No, but it's just a lifestyle brand. It's just, joining Team Umbrella Drink is a way of being. It's just a thing I came up with a while back when I went through my dark night of the soul, actually. Wah, wah, wah. But I would rather put an umbrella in something and just enjoy my moment. And that's what I do. So on Facebook, it's called Team Umbrella Drink. It's been kind of cool because what I do right now is I just post a lot of funny stuff. And thank you for looking. I know that you look at some of my stuff sometimes, but I'll reach like 12,000, 13,000 people with something that I post. So it's starting to grow. So I'm excited about that. So join my team, but we're going to be doing some really great stuff in the future once this pandemic is done, which, by the way, I got both my shots.
Wow. So
I'm very excited about that.
What is this? Does this fall under essential comedians, essential counselors, essential?
So earlier you said, earlier you said, oh, my second grade teacher was 65 years old. I'm thinking, God, she's old. And I realized I'm going to be 61 this year. And so actually, yes, it falls under, different school systems got the vaccine, and I'm actually going to be one of the older people in my school system because That's just the way it is. I'm hanging on. I'm hanging on to everything. For the love of God, I'm not dying yet.
You're not.
And so yeah, and I'll share with the world, because the world will see this. This is going to be one of those amazing videos. I do have a pacemaker. I used to run marathons, and I do a lot of endurance stuff, and I was training for a marathon. And I noticed, wow, I'm running out in 90-degree heat and I'm cold, and I was feeling stuff. So actually, what happened is that my electrical system and my heart kind of puttered out. So I have a pacemaker.
Wow, that's
So I got the vaccine.
You're so vibrant, and you have so much vitality in what you do. And
that's because something's keeping my heart pumping. If I die, my heart's going to keep pumping until they turn. It's like, shut her down, shut her down. They're like, there's a little switch. I can feel it. There's a little switch. I just got to.
You mean you may pass and we may not know?
My color will be good for a while. I don't think rigor mortis is going to set in too quick. I mean, it's not. Yeah, I won't be a good decision maker at that point.
Weekend at Kim Kerley's.
Yeah, it looks good. She looks good. Yeah,
she does. She looks good. At least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well.
That's fun. Isn't this fun? It's fun.
Well,
Thank you.
I will be, I hope, one of the inaugural members of Team Umbrella, because I understood that even us people that are a little touched can find a place at the Team Umbrella table.
Please. It's when I was growing up, if someone called me a weirdo, it would make me so mad. I mean, those were fighting words. You're a weirdo. Oh, really? And I would get in fights. Okay. I was a little scrappy. And when I got older, I realized why it bothered me when people called me a weirdo. It was because it was true. And no one wants to hear the truth. I didn't like it when someone called me out. It's like, I am not a weirdo. Even now, my fiance will say, "Don't be a weirdo," and then he'll look to watch my response. What are you gonna do? It's like, I already know I'm weird. I'm older now. I'm not gonna fight you.
Yeah, go to sleep, sweetheart. I'll explain to you weird.
Go ahead. Yeah, let your freak flag fly, man. Just let it fly.
Exactly. The fans of America Newscape, it's a running joke. We talk about the cool kids table. And there's a lot of us. And we all like to laugh, and we all put up with our videos. And there's really a lot of love in that group. It's a very patriotic group. It's a little longer in the tooth group. And we do a lot of laughing. But what our running joke is, you get to sit at the cool kids table. And what makes that funny is we never sat at the cool kids table when we were growing up. Or would we have been caught dead at the cool kids table?
Oh, I would have had you at my cool kid table if I would have had a table. But
yeah, exactly. If they would have let us sit down.
You know where they get the term long in tooth? You said long in tooth. You know where that comes from?
Of course not. I say stuff. I have no clue what it means.
It comes from the fact that as we get older, your teeth, your gums recede a little bit, and your teeth look longer.
Oh, well, cool.
So you have to take care of your gums. If you don't take care of your gums when you get old, like if you scrub too hard, like I have one, and the dentist told me stop scrubbing so hard, so I had to go to soft toothbrush. So I don't know if you can notice because we're on, computer, but I have the best teeth.
Well, in our opinion, you have the best everything. And the coolest umbrella. And the coolest hat. Probably the coolest hat on your... Yeah, Savvi?
Oh, wait, there it is. I'm looking at I can't do the opposite. I could never be a leader for calisthenics, because you go opposite because you're in front of the group. You go to your left, Everybody be like, what? I'd be bumping into them and stuff.
Okay. Is it Savvi or Sabi?
I call it Savvi.
Oh.
So I don't give a care what anybody else calls it. I'll call it Savvi, and it's my business. Everything I have on is Savvi. I've got this. It's called a poncho. It's called C9 poncho. But check out my. I have a Facebook is Kim Kerley. Kim Kerley on Facebook, Kerley. So you see it at the beginning. So follow me on Facebook. Team Umbrella Drink, and you'll see my Savvi stuff there. Great stuff. If you're a woman or a guy, I'm not going to judge. If you're a woman who wants to hold in your tummy and not feel your butt jiggle, these leggings are the best ever, and I have worn leggings since they were, a thing. So, yeah. Yeah, and I look wonderful in them because I've put on a little bit of weight. This pandemic and everything. I'm over it. I've got to. Yeah,
Well, you'll get
yeah.
back to your running and doing whatever else you do. Biking, running. You're a health fanatic.
I was. There was a time, Justin. There was a time I would go outside and I'd ride a bike and I'd run and I'd walk. I'd go to the gym. I'd talk to people.
You,
I don't do that anymore.
yeah, well, you used to just laugh at
I
the
used to. I used
triathletes.
to flex my muscles. I used to find the fattest person in the gym and I just do my sit-ups next to him and feel good about myself. Now I'm one of them.
you know,
Now I'm
it
wearing leggings up. I'm wearing leggings up to my third rib just so I can not have a roll.
it
You
all
know what I
comes
mean?
around. It all comes back to me. I
Well, it's almost springtime, so
I will quit when I talk about this product line that you're dealing. I'll quit saying kemosabi. Kemosabi. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
savvy, emo savvy. So thank you for letting me plug that. I appreciate it.
Well, Kim, have you got some new material you're working on? A joke you can leave us with? I mean, we've talked about people freezing to death and all that other stuff in school, and
Well,
you've brought us back to our memories of school, those nightmares of second and third grade.
we went on a wild ride tonight.
Yeah,
Um, so it was the Toad's Wild Ride at the
exactly.
Disney.
Hold on, kids.
Kim Wild Ride. What's she talking about now? I don't know. She's using her hands though, so it must be good.
What did
Um,
he? What did he say? Who's listening to him? Who cares?
so working on the Hugh Hefner thing, and I know Hugh Hefner's dead, but it's really sad that he's gone because I mean the whole world now is working in their pajamas. I mean his time was so close. He died right before the whole world got it. We get it. We get it now, Hugh. Pajamas. Pajamas is the way to go. Pajama wear, pajama everything. I was watching a clip. It was because we didn't lose electricity, so I got to watch TV during this great freeze. And they showed a basketball game from the 1950s, and the men were all dressed in suits. They were going to a basketball game in suits.
Right.
Hugh Hefner was wearing pajamas at that time. That's how ahead of his time he was. What are we doing now? We're going to Walmart in our pajamas. Next thing you
Well,
know.
it's sad the fact that we didn't have Hugh because he was a master of combating and surviving viruses and what we would call social diseases like things like that. And Hugh was all over that. He did not die of some horrific commercial disease.
He did
So,
not. Did
and
not.
so you've got Hugh and what, and I hate to throw this at you, but what would Barbara Streisand say about all this snow in Texas?
Oh my gosh. What would Barbara Streisand say? She would say, "You don't bring me flowers anymore." Because they're all frozen. No, I can't. Because they're all frozen.
They're frozen. Okay, Barbara. All right. All right, Kim. Hey, thanks for catching up with us. And we did. We miss you. We miss you. We need you out on the road. We need to come find where you're talking
Oh,
about us in Disdain and stuff like that. And we want to
yeah,
see
yeah, yeah.
you.
So I've got a Zoom comedy show. It's from Flappers Comedy Club in LA. So what they're doing, they do Zoom shows. So I'll be doing a Zoom comedy Flappers show next Sunday. It's on my Facebook page. I'll be pinning it, so it'll be up there. So anyway, you'll see that. It's also on Team Umbrella Drink page. So it's a Flappers comedy show, Zoom comedy. It does cost.
But it's worth it.
I'm the headliner.
Wow. That's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
cool. It's cool. It's really cool.
And I'm gonna
The
and I will
weirdo, the weird kids. I'm a headliner. You called me weirdo, but look at me now.
yeah. I still won't sit at your table, but here I am. Here I am now. Uh, and everybody, I'll put a link to that show, and I encourage you to check out Kim. I'll be there. I'll be there.
100% clean comedy. No cussing.
And I'll be the one
No dirty.
selling the
No dirty.
I'll be selling the virtual tomatoes at the door.
That is so not nice.
I
That's so
know.
not nice.
I know. I'm not a nice person. Okay. All right, Kim, thank you. We better wrap this up. We talk all night. Everybody, thanks for joining us. This has been Justin Case and Kim Kerley. Simply catching up. Thanks for joining us. Remember, additional information and links are provided in this video's Read More. Today's the day to subscribe to this channel. And please support comedians and umbrellas everywhere.